ABC Sports, celebrating its 20th season of Sunday Night Football, welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Chiefs trying to get back to 500. Lions looking for a fifth straight win. 1 year ago tomorrow, they lost their defensive star, Aiden Hutchinson, for the season with a broken leg. He's back. He's off to a great start in 2025. And a moment ago, he spoke with our Melissa Stark.
Aiden, after everything you've gone through this last year, how has your appreciation for the game changed?
I'm blessed to come out here every day and play football, do what I love to do.
Last time you faced the Chiefs, it was right here, 2023 kickoff game. You upset the defending Super Bowl champions. What did that game do for this team?
It was amazing for us back then, but it's a new year, new team, we got to do it again.
You personally already have 5 sacks on the season. How do you add to that tonight against Patrick Mahomes?
Relentless, aggressive, every single play.
Have fun tonight, Aiden.
Hutch is focused. His dad, Chris, mom, Melissa there for a hug before the game, and they head back to their seats. Dan Campbell, his team started that run of back-to-back division titles with the game Melissa spoke to Hutch about a moment ago. A lot harder, though, tonight. Banged up. 5 of the top 6 corners coming into this season are out, and both safeties are banged up to play. Andy Reid and the Chiefs have won 9 straight AFC West titles, but already have lost more games this season than all of last. So it's warm. It's 80 degrees here in Kansas City on this October night, and the Lions won the toss and will take the ball. They will receive. Always a great scene here in KC at GEHA Field at Arrowhead Stadium. And Jared Allen going into the Hall of Fame back in July. We saw him in Minnesota on a Sunday night. He's here in Kansas City on this Sunday night. This is where his career started. He's going to start up the crowd in KC tonight. Their main kick returner, and Craig Reynolds is back. Khalif Raymond is active, but not returning the kickoffs here tonight. Over the last couple of years in the NFL, hard to find 2 better teams than this. See what they've got for us here tonight. Chiefs and Lions. Off we go. From KC, it is played towards Reynolds from the 3. And Reynolds bouncing off that would-be tackle. Can't get to the 30 as he's brought down from behind by Chris Wallace. Here's the Lions offense.
Jared Goff, David Montgomery, Iowa State. Jameer Gibbs, Alabama. Jamison Williams, Bama. Amon-Ra St. Brown, USC. Sam Laporta, Iowa. Dan Skipper, Arkansas. Christian Mahogany, Boston College. Graham Glasgow, Michigan. Ted Ratledge, Georgia. Renee Sewell, Oregon.
Heard Dan Skipper in the intros. It's the 3rd different left tackle in as many weeks in this high-scoring offense. Taylor Decker out with a shoulder. Gio Manu, who started last week, is on IR with an injury. Goff of the Lions begin from the 29. Gibbs is the back. It comes forward to about the 33. Pickup of 4. Took the handoff from Jared Goff. Leads the NFL in completion percentage. Leads the league in touchdowns. And trade from the Rams before the 2021 season. He's been a Lion for a longer time now. 71st start for Detroit. 2 more than the former #1 overall pick made for LA. Tight ends in for Detroit. It is Gibbs again, trying to work the right side, just a yard that time. Moving 3rd down, Leo Chenal, and fans around ball on Nick Bolton. They're on the Kansas City tackle.
It's a really interesting game from the defensive standpoint tonight, Mike, because we have 2 teams that basically want to play 3 linebackers. That's like going back in time 25 times. It really is, and especially in Detroit, you understand it because they're missing guys in the secondary. But these linebackers are going to be key for both sides tonight.
Lions won the toss, took the ball, and now face 3rd and 5 on this opening drive. And Goff's throw is completed. Sam Laporta, the tight end, who's been very good of late, to the 45-yard line. And the game's first down.
course, a little rub-off route inside. When Laporta comes in, they've got the double slant on the outside, and it forced Bolton to go under, over, and just an easy first down there. So we have tremendous offense. We're going to talk about that. But the game's going to be won or lost tonight by which defense can make some big plays and get off the field.
49 against the Kansas City defense.
Mike Dana, Central Michigan.
Derek Knight, FSU.
Chris Jones, Mississippi State.
George Karlaftis, Purdue.
Drew Tranquil,
Notre Dame.
Nick Bolton, Mizzou. Leo Chanel, Wisconsin.
Trent McDuffie, Washington. Lee Cook, Cincinnati.
Tamara Connor, Virginia Tech.
Jalen Weissman, WSU.
Steve Spagnuolo's defense, they forced 2 turnovers each of the last 3 games. Keep a close eye on Chris Jones, always a factor for these Chiefs up front. Game of 4, Goff to the end, Jameson Williams. First down for Detroit. First round pick in Alabama, now in season 4, becoming more of a complete receiver every year.
Jared Goff just so cool under pressure, and he's going to have to be tonight. Spagnuolo's going to heat him up. You're going to see pressure coming from just about everywhere, and sometimes they'll drop out on the other side. But it is going to be one of those games, if they cannot get to Jared Goff, he is going to pick them apart.
They sit to the drive, be a first down pass for Goff. Slides it over, there's Williams with room. Jameson Williams goes high, tumbles to the ground. Has a first down inside the 30-yard line. Didn't see the ball much last week, but kept blocking and stayed very active.
This is one of the very best teams, #1 ranked in most yards on these horizontal routes, I'll call them. When you start from one side, come over to the other side, and of course when you run like Jameson Williams, that's not a long trip at all.
Jalen Watson. J-Mo, as he's known around the Lions, goes airborne. Watson sends him down. 3 runs, 3 passes on this opening drive. And to Amon-Ra St. Brown, edge block from the tight end right. But a good play coming in by the safety, Brian Cook, to limit the game.
This is probably as diverse a running game as you will see in the National Football League. If you can think of a running play, more than likely the Lions run it and run it really well. But when they really get it going, you will see a push from this offensive line that will take the Chiefs backwards. And when they get that going, you have real problems on defense.
Second and 8, same motion, Gibbs left side, cutting back. And there you see, Chris, all those 69, 73, those lineman numbers are downfield on that gain, and dialing up those plays is John Morton, year 1 as the Lions offensive coordinator, was with Denver, so in the division with the Chiefs the last couple of years. Guy who is from the Detroit suburbs, Auburn Hills. Lions, no huddle. Chiefs able to get some subs out, third and a couple. Up the first down. Chris, we used to think of powers forward with Detroit, and it's David Montgomery, but Gibbs likes to show he can do it between the tackles as well.
Yeah, and they both can do the other person's job, but Jahmyr Gibbs is that outside zone player, and they want to get that speed out there. David Montgomery, much bigger, about 230 pounds, but they really, it's almost a competition. I think it's a very friendly competition, but they want to prove they can do the other guy's job too.
3 receivers for Detroit, including the rookie Isaac Tesla, has made some spectacular grabs already this year. St. Brown pitching, Gibbs gets it, working sideline, and out of bounds around the 10. Now the first foot out of the 50. So his left foot was out before he got back in bounds. Limit the game to 4.
Watch Chris Jones here run right past Tate Ratledge, the rookie guard, and that's what we've got to see out of Chris Jones. Only 1 sack on the season this year, had an embarrassing ending to the Jacksonville game, but a little razzmatazz there out of the Lions.
On the toss, took the ball, played 10 of this drive, play 11. I beg your pardon, of this drive. side. Laying down right around the 9. The mark will depend if it's a first down or not, as he is close to it and does have the first down, first and goal for Detroit.
And this is what Gibbs has really learned from Montgomery, that sometimes it's not about your speed. Watch the patience here and then make your cut. Let those offensive linemen get the push we've been talking about. There's the double team. Once you establish that, then you look down the field and somebody's on their back on the ground. That's what we get out of the offensive line of the Detroit Lions.
With a depleted secondary, they're keeping the ball out of the hands of Mahomes for half a quarter on this drive. First and goal, it is Gibbs left side. Inside the 4-yard line, Shamari Connor with the tackle. But Gibbs getting 4 on that, his 7th carry of this opening drive.
We see so many great players as we travel around, but this Penei Sewell, when he gets on a block, he just does not get off of it. Athletically, he has like cornerback feet, and when he is on somebody, and that time he was on Nick Bolton, they just can't escape from him.
Year 4 in the league, 7th overall pick in the draft, and has played through all of that. Second and goal, 8 minutes gone in the opening quarter. Outside run, with Gibbs. Connor's there, standing it up at 2. And if you've watched the Lions the last couple of years, you know there's a couple of plays here to try to pick up the touchdown against Steve Spagnuolo's defense.
You know the old saying about how the running game travels? This is about as quiet on the first drive as I've ever heard this building before. It's frustrating, it's humiliating, and defenses hate it when people can just run it down their throats like this. Big play here, though. This is typically, I mean, we see it all the time. St. Brown, Sam LaPorta.
Yeah, 3 backs lined up, 2 of them tight ends. Gibbs in the middle, and it's the give inside to Gibbs. Looks to be short. It'll be 4th and goal.
That's why he ran it, right? I mean, they're going for it. I mean, you know right now, if they're sitting there at 2.5, they are definitely going with this if they ran it on that down.
Well, that quiet you talked about will change quickly here. 4th and goal. Half yard to go.
Take a timeout.
Campbell trying to get it. It's called timeout. No play, timeout. Goff heard the whistle. Got rid of the ball. Campbell ran into the timeout. Timeout, Detroit.
And you did not get the first down.
Because the Kansas City Chiefs had that play completely covered. Whatever play they had in mind, they're going to number 2 after that one. Embarrassing. I mean, honestly, Mike, I can't tell you how many times a team practices their first goal line, first 4th down. They rehearse that, and they couldn't get it lined up.
Andy Reid, none too pleased that Campbell got the timeout call. The official on that side in the corner of the end zone saw Campbell run out halfway between the sideline and the numbers and granted the timeout before the snap. I was watching both of them as it was going on. Chiefs bringing some big folks up front. Omar Norman Watt, Jerry Tillery, their goal line defense, with Montgomery the back on 4th and goal. And Goff out of there, direct snap, throw to Goff, who gets it and scores a touchdown! As he did last year in Detroit, receiving a touchdown.
Good goal for it.
Not as smooth a catch, but the block on the edge gave him a chance. And on the pass to Goff, from Montgomery, his 2nd toss in as many weeks. The Lions lead.
Oh my goodness. Think about that. How confident are you in this football team to throw it out to your quarterback? What a clever play. We have seen that wildcat formation, and everybody does the same thing. They take Goff out of the picture, and they're trying to figure out if this one is allowed or not.
Yeah, because of the quarterback being under center there. Terry McCauley, bring our rules analyst in. Terry?
Yeah, absolutely, Mike. He takes a position behind the center. He's got to step back and pause for a second and establish as a back before he goes in motion. He didn't. He stayed in motion. This is illegal. This is an illegal formation.
There's a conversation going on with the officials. That's not reviewable by replay, but the officials can have a conference about it. And they are right now with Craig Rolstad, the referee. And now he throws a flag.
Discussion. The quarterback never got set, therefore it's illegal motion.
Yeah.
Terry, come back to that definition for us with his hands. Does it have to be hands over center and then one step back if he does that?
Exactly, yeah. He is there right behind the center. He's got to take a step clear back and pause, or at some point in the backfield, and he can't before he goes in motion. Or after he goes in motion. He can't be in motion as he does this.
Did it matter that he actually tapped the center to let him know he was leaving? That has no...
No, he's already there, Chris. He's already in position as a quarterback under center.
So Dan Campbell getting the explanation from Craig Rolstad. For the moment, the Lions have put their field goal unit on to try the field goal and not go for it on 4th and goal from the 5. This drive that took 9 minutes and 36 seconds. And now the offense asking one more time, what are we doing? And the kicking unit is coming back. And the Lions are still going to go for, or at least line up to go for it here. They live in the deep end of the pool, right from the start.
Well, we know what's going on the defensive side for the Lions here. All the injuries in the secondary. He may be thinking, it doesn't matter if we kick a field goal, we're going to have a tough time on defense tonight.
He said they need to score 30 points. Now, Goff is coming over to speak with Rolstad. The play clock is still running down here, and it might just get a delay of game at this point. And now to re-pump to the play clock. And it will be.
Delay of game. Offense to the 16.
It's watch side, but...
And now they'll kick. Got out there. They were getting towards the huddle. The noise was building. Goff stepped out of the huddle and towards Rolstad. And I'm pretty sure that Goff is still negotiating what happened on that trick play. So Jake Bates will come on for Detroit to try a 28-yard field goal out of the hole of Jack Fox, the punter. That's through the first points of the game. It's going to be fun tonight, isn't it? Nearly a 10-minute drive, 3-0 Lions. Career Scout, the future of job searching has arrived. By Walmart Plus, members get free delivery on more than groceries. And post the blue square and stand up to Jewish hate. The season opener that we referenced in 2023, the kickoff game, Lions winning 21-20. One of two matchups with Patrick Mahomes against Jared Goff. The other game when Goff was a Ram, and that was that wild 54-51 classic third highest scoring game in league history at the Coliseum in LA. So 5:21 left. Bates was terrific on kickoff from last week. This one a yard deep and will come out Rico Remigio for the Chiefs to the 31-yard line. The KC offense will begin their work.
Patrick Mahomes II, Texas Tech University. Isaiah Pacheco, Rutgers University.
Hollywood Brown, Oklahoma. Xavier Royden, Fresno, California. Juju Smith-Schuster, USC. Travis Kelce, Cleveland Heights, Ohio.
Jalen Moore, Western Michigan.
Kingsville Shumway, BYU. Creed Humphrey, Oklahoma. Trey Smith, University of Tennessee. Juwan Taylor, Florida.
Jalen Moore over that left tackle for Josh Simmons, as you heard in the pregame, tended to a personal matter out in California, a late stretch. Coming into tonight, Pacheco, the carry for a yard for Isaiah. Handed the ball by Patrick Mahomes. Season high, 318 passing yards for the Monday night loss to Jacksonville. He leads the team in rushing again in that game and for the season. So that's one thing that, okay, it's great, but they don't want that to happen for 17 weeks. And you might see a little more of Pacheco as the running back tonight, as you did on Monday. Team motion, 7 Upton, his turn upfield to the 47-yard line. Great start for Kelsey. A gain of 16. First down, please.
Got the first down. Yes.
Mike, we've been talking about this all week. These are the jabs that come early in the drive. And why do you do that? Because this defensive line of the Lions, they're all jacked up, right? They're ready to go. They have a lot of energy. 2 or 3 of those jabs, you get it in there to Kelsey, you get it into Smith-Schuster, and all of a sudden they're a little slower, or their front line goes out of the game, and that's when they start to attack down.
And there's Mahomes. Look for another one of those. Covered. Comes back to the middle.
Got the dog first down. Yes.
Inside the 30 to the 24-yard line. And jumps with the Chiefs offense. Gain of 30.
Mahomes, he sees everything. Going to have the route come across here, and he's going to have to look backwards across. Watch right there, though. Very close. Could have been a shot. One of those collisions maybe knocked the ball out. But we do have 2 sort of banged up safeties for these Detroit Lions, and Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch had warm up on the field before the game just to decide whether they were going to play.
Jones a knee injury, Branch and ankle. It's one of the strengths of this Detroit defense. Pacheco running left with Dylan Gray blocking. Isaac
And it's his own first down. Yes.
around the 13-yard line.
The other thing that we haven't talked about yet is Jalen Moore is playing for Simmons at the left tackle position. He is one of those guys, very good run blocking. He can do that. We'll see what he does with pass protection. But to get Pacheco going early, that is one of the big goals for the Chiefs tonight. They think he's ready for a bigger load.
The 13, Pacheco coming left. It's a couple of yards to the 11-yard line. One of the reasons they went out and got Jalen Moore in the offseason was left tackle's been a revolving door, and they thought getting Moore, a veteran, 4 years with San Francisco, would stabilize them. But the rookie Simmons, who's not here tonight, has come on and been terrific so far.
He's been terrific, and they paid Moore. I mean, they paid him a 2-year, $30 million deal to be a swing tackle. So that lets you know what Andy Reid thinks about that left tackle position and where it's been the last couple of years.
Pacheco out, Kareem Hunt is the back. To him, Mahomes, chased by Barnes, throws it away out of the pocket. Incomplete, and it sets up 3rd down here inside of 2 minutes in this opening quarter.
Yeah, I think Brian Branch is feeling okay. He was all over Kelsey on that one. They definitely were trying to get the ball to him, little catch and run. But Brian Branch, who honestly, Mike, as we were watching him in pregame, he looked like the healthier of the 2 between he and Kirby Joseph, didn't he?
Yes, he did, no doubt. Dealing with that ankle. Pro Bowl safety. Joseph, an all-pro last year. 3rd and 8. Lions bringing 4. Mahomes looking for space to take off, and he takes a hit right around the 6-yard line. Down, we'll see what Kansas City will do here. Joseph came up to make the tackle. Harrison Butker walks on the field and retreats. The Chiefs will line up to go for it.
At the very least, you're going to take a shot with a hard count here, right? See what happens.
Get to the 4-yard line, so they need a couple. Technically 3 yards. Get to the 3-yard line. 4th and 3. They've been good and plentiful on 4th down this year. And the will, Mahomes.
Touchdown. Yes.
Xavier Worthy's first touchdown of the season.
Nick Robertson now playing the slot out here. Watch him try to jam Worthy here and miss. As soon as he missed, there was nowhere to go. The play was over.
Licking his lips was Mahomes. Remember, Worthy injured on the 3rd snap of the game against the Chargers in Brazil. Missed 2 games. He's come back. 3rd game back has been good. And that's been happening once a game. Butker has struggled with one big miss almost every game this year. And the usually reliable Butker wasn't even close. Touchdown pass to Worthy. Gabby's like the showgirl, but she is a rock star in every sense of the word now. Big hit on Reynolds on the return to the 38-yard line. Caitlin Clark's had a couple of years, too, that they could share stories of stardom going through the roof to the luminaries in the house tonight. So, Chris, that drive that the Lions started, right? 9 minutes, 40 seconds. They don't convert on the fourth down. The Chiefs do, and that's the difference in the game right now.
And I think both these head coaches came into this game believing that was going to be the case.
Montgomery is the back for Detroit. 29, he's got the toss, working left. 32-yard line, pick up about 3.
I mean, it's just going to be a fun watch for me with these two linebackers. They're going to have to play a little bit out of position almost. Drew Tranquill is going to play a lot of that sort of slot position. Alex Anzalone will play a lot of it. So we're seeing some old school football that's kind of fun for me to watch.
Some terrific linebackers on both sides of the ball make it all possible. Final half minute, opening quarter. Goff scanning, hangs in there and throws it complete over the middle to the 42-yard line. Sam Laporta, Chris, is getting to the next level of his abilities in the first part of this season.
I'll tell you, the pass protection on that play was tremendous. If you're going to try to hit somebody in the middle of the field,
that's the other good one.
I like your research projects. It's a great time, it's a great spot. As that magic duo combined. Fuda, Montgomery to the right. David Montgomery pulled by the undershirt to stop them as they get it to the 30-yard line. Gain of a dozen and a first down.
I'll tell you, this may not be pretty to anybody else, but it is to me. Watch the push of this offensive line. This is an outside zone run, and these guys, look at that. Look at the push down the field. It's 9 yards before he gets touched. Look at the pocket in there. That is incredible, especially when you consider these interior 3 offensive linemen, Mahogany, Glasgow, and Ratledge, are brand new.
Down Detroit at the 29, Montgomery to the right, more room to run, gets to the 23, so let's go through them, Chris. Greg Glassman's been around here, his second stint with the Lions. He was a starting guard. He moves to center with Frank Ragnow's retirement, and then Dan Campbell goes to Tate Ratledge, a rookie, and Christian Mahogany, who didn't play that much last year, second-round pick at the left guard.
Yeah, and even the best players on Kansas City, in this case, Chris Jones here, trying to keep up with this push. He jumps from outside, and there he is, Panay Sewell with a little, we used to call that the old butt block there.
There's that interior 3 Chris is talking about, protecting Goff. Chased by Karlaftis, lofting it out, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Stop and go, couldn't lose Leo Chenal, limited gain, third down ahead.
Leo Chenal, that's a heck of a play by him. I mean, you get one of the most athletic receivers in all of football, and he manages to push him out of bounds. They'll take that all day out of Kansas City because they want to stay with that 3 linebacker look, but you will live in fear of facing somebody like St. Brown in open space. Protection, this offensive line is winning the game so far for Detroit. When you throw one of these deep crossing routes, it takes at least 3 seconds to get in behind the second linebacker right there. And you can see 3+. When you get to there and you can work those in cuts like that, there is no zone defense that can hold up to it.
Not sure what this conversation is here with 2 of the officials. bringing Noel Williams, corner for the Chiefs, over to the sideline. Don't know if someone upstairs, one of the spotters, saw something injury-wise they want the athletic training staff to check out. So the officials just stopping the game for a moment to allow the medical staff to do their work. After the Williams touchdown, and Jake Bates on to add the extra point. Goes to kick off the left hash, the way his ball moves left to right. Thus it ends up in the middle. 3 drives, 3 scores, and 6 plays, 71 yards. So it's Kelsey Ballerini, Bruce Capaldi, Nick Jonas, and Lizzo. Great talent, great night. Don't miss The Voice tomorrow at 8, 7 Central NBC. And Peacock, a great artist play there, downtown KC, the Kauffman Center for the Performing Arts. Just a few miles away here from GEHA Field at Arrowhead. Seen a lot of games. For quite some time. Stadium opened back in 1972. 6 Lions lead. Remigio with the return from Kansas City. And Nico Remigio stopped at the 31-yard line. This look at a record touchdown for Patrick Mahomes is brought to you by State Farm. Touchdown pass on the first KC drive, number 300 if you include the postseason as well. And he is easily the fastest to it, passing Aaron, Dan, Peyton, all one-name guys. And doing it with a big margin from Rodgers' 147 games to his 139. Says milestones reflective of a great career in the middle of it here. Mahomes in trouble, escapes, turns and fires.
Oh, for the first down, yes.
Couldn't do that. First down for KC.
On the outside trying to get some pressure and able to do that, but then when Mahomes made a miss, that is what Kansas City does so many teams. Once that pitch count gets up around 3 to 4 seconds, the zone is so stretched there'll be people wide open in the middle of the defense. Exactly what we've seen Mahomes do all season. Those big throws are back in this offense now. At the 44-yard line, gain of 6. So we asked Patrick to reflect on the milestone coming to 300. So we asked about the first one, and he said, life was easy because I threw it to Tyreek Hill, and he just took off for a touchdown on that one. And the one that meant the most to him was, of course, the Super Bowl when he touched down. Yeah,
when he threw it.
McCole Hardman, and that was the one that ended the game on that play, and he swears he went down, and McCole Hardman had no idea they just won the Super Bowl. I'm pretty sure he did.
We are issuing timeouts.
Back on NBC starting 1 week from Tuesday. Kirby Joseph walked off slowly on the bench being looked at by the training staff. Thomas Harper is in at safety for Detroit as Mahomes keeps, and he's thrown it around, chasing by Jack Campbell. Melissa Stark.
Yeah, Mike, so we watched Kirby Joseph come over to the sideline, clearly in a lot of pain, clearly very frustrated. He's been dealing with that knee injury all season long. The athletic training staff looking at the stability of that knee. I talked to him pregame, and he said, I feel okay. I feel good. I felt good all week. Earlier in the week, he told me I have a lot of bumps and bruises, but clearly frustrated right now. He's still talking to the staff. He's now standing up on the sideline, but hasn't tested it out.
Huge part of their defense, Melissa. 20 interceptions in his career. Plays such good center field for this Detroit team on those big plays. Alex Anzalone that time able to come up with the tackle after a game of about 2 for Kareem Hunt to the 41-yard line.
Yeah, interesting strategy there. It's going to come down to 4th down now, but the Lions did go man coverage there and rushed 5 and ended up making the play. So let's see what they come back to right here. I have a feeling this is going to be a game decided by not 3rd downs, which is like who does the best on 4th downs in these games.
Lions had a penalty on one. Chiefs made theirs. Exploded in the huddle. Inside run.
It's another first down, yes.
As they had both Hunt and Pacheco in the backfield. You see Joseph is just trying over for examination.
It's such a good play, and they run it a lot where they go like that. It looks like they're going to pitch it or something to Pacheco. You see Pacheco stick his hands up in the air, and then the fullback goes back inside. Well done. That one and the little rollout play to the flat. Those are the two Andy Reid specials right there.
Chiefs now 11 of 12 on the year, picking up fourth down. First down, it gets razzle dazzle. Back in the hands of Mahomes. He's got space. Looks to take off.
Good first down, yeah.
Really well done defensively. They were setting this up for a wheel down the boundary here to Kelsey, but they did not fall for it. They stayed put. They were in position, forced Mahomes to run the football. That was their little secret up their sleeve for this one.
Pacheco. For about a yard. You mentioned at the beginning, Mahomes continuing to pace this Kansas City team in rushing yardage. It's been opportunistic. He doesn't want to do it for the whole year, but it's been so effective because of some of the coverages they see, too.
Yeah, everybody does the same thing to Patrick Mahomes, right? They want to play a shell coverage. That means two safeties on the back end. Let's not let them get behind us. They have three guys that run under 4-3. All those kinds of things. And so that's led to a lot of runs for Mahomes.
Hutchinson back in the game, Detroit's best pass rusher on 2nd and 8. Mahomes look deep, covered, in trouble.
Oh, lost the football. Lost the football.
The pressure by Hutchinson. Able to get a hand on it and force it, but Mahomes recovers. Lost back to the 36-yard line.
Aiden Hutchinson is making a good living out of stripping the football out of quarterback's hands. Watch him. He does not go for the big hit here. He simply goes for the ball. He's been doing it all year. He had two of them against Cleveland. One of them got called back, but great play by Mahomes just to save the day. That is smart pass rush skills right there.
Just gets it into the hands of Juju Smith-Schuster. Long way to go. Almost got there. He's a yard short. Let's see what Andy Reid's going to do on 4th and 1.
Well, you have Harrison Butker who missed one kick on that extra point. I think they're going.
Andy right into the play sheet, no doubt. Butker has 6 misses on 27 tries this year. Field goals and extra points combined.
Soft roll with Mahomes and somebody, well, we're going to talk about it.
Chiefs can take a timeout.
First charge timeout. Kansas City.
We were talking about Mahomes before, and
the first timeout's called by Andy Reid.
The starting quarterbacks almost every week, especially when we go to the home teams and watch them practice on Friday. Patrick Mahomes has just such a great presence as the face of the league. All these milestones are great, but he's a constant, and he delivers every time on and off the field.
Yeah, he got that little Kermit the Horse, you know, Kermit the Frog thing. But everybody does an impersonation of him on their team, you know. We heard Trey Smith's interpretation of it. But he has been the face of the league. I mean, let's face it, for the last 7-8 years, and what a good one he is, right? He's the guy that you would want standing up and saying, all right, here's the shield, here's our best player, and let's go to work.
Yeah, it's interesting that you kind of get to that point in the career where those milestones and career stuff is building. That's the prime of his wonderful career. 4th and a yard, and he and the Chiefs going for it here. Doing it out of the gun. Rolling right. Mahomes puts it up, and it's incomplete. It's broken up by Harper. A little bump early on, but Thomas Harper playing his first defensive snaps for the Lions. He did play last year for the Raiders. Comes up with the deflection. And the man in for Kirby Joseph, who was injured on. Michigan. He is something. Taking over at the 20. Here's Jahmyr Gibbs running to the right. picks up about 5. Let's go back to the 4th down, Chris. What'd you see?
Yeah, Thomas Harper just came in. He has 0 defensive snaps until he got in this game right here. But watch the way he wraps his arm around. He does get his right arm on the hip of Worthy, but doesn't turn him, doesn't twist him, and reaches around to knock that ball out, and then very gently put both hands behind his back as if to say, I didn't touch a thing.
Rookie with the Raiders last year, thrust into the role with Kirby Joseph being looked at on the reverse sideline. Inside terrific tackle, his shots everywhere. He and Bolton, those linebackers Chris talked about, coming up big here early in this one.
Yeah, just good patience really by Chanel. He is going to wait. You'll see the puller come around, and Chanel's just going to sneak in right behind him, as if he didn't even see it. He was the intended target. Nope. Just a little sneaky hit.
Jameer gives the back 3rd and 4. Space in the pocket, thinking about taking off. Jared Goff says, I can do that too. What Mahomes does. Goff scrambles for a 1st down to the 33-yard line.
First of all, tremendous play right there, but I'm going to end up talking about this guy right here. Jahmyr Gibbs, as does everybody on this team, they do not take plays off. Watch Gibbs turn around and make the key block. There's no way he's picking that up against Jamari Connor unless Gibbs gets that block.
Under 5 till halftime. Fast-moving first half. Gibbs, Goods, hesitation, and there goes Gibbs in the secondary. The 48-yard line. First down gain of 15 for Jahmyr Gibbs, 3rd year back out of Bama.
Mike, this push is just killing Kansas City up front. You're getting the motion going this way, but watch how far down the field this is happening. Look at the size of that hole. They've got nobody to fill in the back side of that, and they are very fortunate that Gibbs did not take that in the distance.
Kansas City run defense that is about bottom 3rd in the league, 123 yards per game. Gibbs to the right. Still going. Gibbs out of the traffic to the 46-yard line. Attitude runs coming from the Lions in this first half.
They call it grit. That's all it is. Most people, when they get in that vulnerable position, they go down. Detroit Lions don't go down. They're going to fight you until somebody puts him on the ground, and we see it game after game.
In there amongst the offensive linemen, so no grounding. It goes as an incomplete pass. Kansas City got the pressure to Goff that time.
They did, and Dan Skipper got up a little slowly on that one, and they are just about out of tackles over there. They're on their 3rd already.
And for the Pro Bowler Taylor Decker, Giovanni started against Cincinnati for Decker. He went out on the IR with a knee injury. Skipper, his 4th skip with the Lions, cut the end of training camp, signed to the practice squad, elevated, and on the roster now. 3rd and 4 run, Montgomery inside, cannot get through it. That is Trent McDuffie working amongst the big folks. It's 4th and 2, the 44, with 3:15 to go, and Campbell tells his guys stay on out there.
I think that's just the way they're going to play the game. They are not going to put that kind of pressure on their own defense. Steve Spagnuolo really almost no choice here but to play man coverage. So if you want to take a shot, Amon-Ra St. Brown, even though Trent McDuffie, their best is on him, this would be an opportunity.
4th and 2, they're going to go for it. Goff gets rid of it. He's incomplete.
He did not get it, yes.
Give it to Kansas City at the 44-yard line. Chris is brought to you by Toyota, the official automotive partner of the NFL. Let's go places. By Lowe's, tackle your to-do list early to earn your Sunday. By Chipotle, real ingredients, real flavor. Chipotle for real. And by Universal Pictures, Black Phone 2, only in theaters on Friday. Speaking of Friday, the Friday Night Lights, St. James Academy beat Blue Valley North in this one here, St. James Academy. Coaching staff includes Chiefs Super Bowl champion Anthony Sherman. And one of those touchdowns that was scored by Jake House's son Matt is one of the Chiefs' assistant coaches. KC takes over. All the window dressing to Pacheco. Nothing going on. Tackled by Alex Anzalone.
You want a good sign for the Chiefs defense. Here it was. You got Chris Jones, you got Mike Dana, and they got immediate pressure that time on Goff. Now, the ball should have been caught by Amon-Ra St. Brown. He knows it. Everybody knows it. They generally do not miss those big opportunities, and he will be heard from again.
Approaching 2-minute warning.
Makes the catch for first down. Yes.
The speed on the outside is forcing Rocky Yassin backwards. As long as they're going to end up in that look, keep throwing.
See, those corners play because of the injuries. Restarting clock. We hit the 2-minute warning here in KC.
Chicago Wednesday on NBC and Peacock.
Coming up on the show at halftime, Drake May's got the Patriots turning back the clock, and the Buccaneers unveiled a new play in Week 6.
The Buccaneers have been fun. The Lions will see them in downtown Detroit next Monday night. Detroit and Tampa, two of the 6 one-loss teams remaining in the NFL. First and 10 for Kansas City. It's Pacheco working right. Takes a big hit. Incredibly, for Kirby Joseph, who is back in the game after it looked like Chris, he could barely walk on the sideline.
How many times have we seen Pacheco fire up his team, and that time it was Kirby Joseph bumping his.
Got the first down. Yes.
First down mark, which is at the 32-yard line. Catch 2 for Kelsey. And it is a Kansas City first down. Chiefs get the ball to start the second half. So they can double up here.
Smart playing. They're getting back to the way they started the game. Remember some of those quick jabs we were talking about? And that sets up some of the throws down the field.
There's been a big hitter on deep balls from Mahomes in the lineup. Mahomes puts it out deep towards Worthy. You'll see he's with him. Uncatchable, incomplete. 1:03 to go till halftime.
That was uncatchable because Worthy wasn't running. Just never saw it.
A fast-paced first half. Teams going for it on fourth down. We've had no punts. We've had 3 possessions for each team.
The guy that they have been throwing deep to all season here is Tyquan Thornton. At the top of the screen now.
Over the 32, Mahomes throwing inside, incomplete. So can't pull it in right there in coverage. Jack Campbell. A third down for KC.
That has to work, Mike. That has to work. That's their dream scenario. They get the linebackers in there. You get Kelsey on Jack Campbell coming from right there. That has to work. That's bread and butter. That's you guys do that in your sleep right there.
Chiefs will move it
six-man pressure. They're just going to bring everybody. It's going to set up the one-on-one on the outside here. You see, here's somebody he can run with. The contact right there at the break point is what really set that thing up. It was a little deeper than 5 yards, so it was at least that. They said the ball's in the air, so they get the PI.
Pull on the inside of the college. The ball comes down inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. Mahomes rips it, throws it, catches it. The 5, puts it inside.
Another first down, yes.
With 44 seconds to go. And it's using a 10-year time here. And the Lions are going to be the ones to stop the clock and take a timeout. They hope to get the ball back.
Here we go. They're going to work on the linebacker again. Come right out here. They just flip it. They do it to the other side. And Campbell misses that one by a fingernail.
What a throw. Wow.
But that's where they have to win this game. Remember, we were talking about the 3 linebacker look. And when they do that, that means Kelsey is going to be one-on-one with these linebackers. And he has to win. He has to win.
Okay.
And the second timeout's called by Lions head coach.
His head guilty, 3 catches. Second on this team coming in with 22 catches. You see Kelsey and Andy Reid there. A little bit different than the emotions we saw with those guys in the first half. The first time we had them on Sunday night against the Giants. And this Chiefs team was lethargic. And they needed a little fire. And actually it was Creed Humphrey, the center in the locker room at halftime, who spoke up and got this team going.
Typically doesn't say a whole lot, but what he was saying was, let's run the football. That's what offensive linemen say, and he was right. It got him going.
40 seconds. Detroit has 1 timeout, KC 2, so they are in control of this. First and goal just inside the 2.
Hold on, there's a flag in the field. Yes! He did. He jumped offside.
Mahomes, I think of Ben Roethlisberger or any of those guys that have those big hands that could do those fakes. I don't know what you do with it.
Here's Dunker. His first extra point try. This one's right back through, and Kansas City leads by. Good first half. Lions are 1 timeout, 37 seconds. So they end up with the ball. So Trent Reynolds kickoff return. And Reynolds will get out to the 32-yard line with Detroit with 33 seconds.
All right, let's take a look at our next gen stats powered by AWS and what has worked. Protection has worked. You'll see the crossing route here over 3.44 seconds. Now we're going to get a deep in cut past the second linebacker. 4 seconds there. Now we're just going to flip that over and run it the other way for the touchdown. Again, the time required to run those plays has been the difference, and the Lions have gotten this passing game going.
Lions need just under 30 yards to get in Jake Bates' field goal range. On a breezy night here in KC. Top first down. McCord of the tight end to the sideline. Get out of bounds. Mark 37. Pick up a 5. For Sam, his 3rd catch of the night.
Good job by Jared Goff there, because they are doing some late rotations here in this Kansas City secondary. They ended up in that single safety, which he knew was going to be a cover 1, cover 3, through the out. Perfectly done. The mental work that Jared Goff has done is really paying off for him.
3 receivers, Gibbs, the back, Laporta, the tight end. Goff throwing inside for St. Brown, had a fight to catch it, goes to the 40. Timeout Detroit, their last one. Here with 22 seconds to go, it's 3rd and 2 when we come back in 30 seconds after this from AWS. gets rid of it incomplete with 17 seconds left. The Lions will punt this ball away.
Ooh, what a play by Nick Bolton there. Anytime you end up with a speedster like Jahmyr Gibbs on you, and you've got to come out here and cover that guy, that is a scary moment for a defender, especially a middle linebacker, and was close enough to force Goff to just throw it away. That was big time there by Nick Bolton.
Jack Fox, very good punter for his team All-Pro last year. Gets to deep under Mejio. And this goes deep with 50 yards. Mejio catches it right around the 10. With 10 seconds to go, the Chiefs getting the ball to start the second half. Your thoughts on what we've seen first half and a second, Chris? But first, here's Melissa.
Yeah, more on Kirby Joseph. He was helped into the medical tent very gingerly, putting minimal pressure on that left leg, and he spent 10 minutes in there. When he came out, he had a heavy tape job on that left knee, and then he walked very slowly up and down behind the bench with a towel on his head. Then he started walking faster, jogging, and then sprinting and talking to himself, appearing to try to hype himself up.
Made that great play when they got the ball back, and back on the field here as Mahomes kneels down. Your thoughts on the first half?
And that's the other first half.
By the Mahomes touchdown run, which was his fourth and ties his career high. That's the difference in the game right now. Put the Chiefs up right before the break. 79 degrees, unseasonably warm October 12th night. Mike Tirico, Chris Collinsworth, Melissa Stark. Bob Howard, our producer, Jurassic Pop, our director. Chiefs Sunday night. So glad to be here in KC. One of those when you saw the schedule, you thought this was going to be a really good game. And the first half did not disappoint. Jake Bates to kick it off. Take it from the 5 for Kansas City. Against the outside, not going to do that. And a long field. This started their own 8 seed. Here's Melissa with Dan Campbell a moment ago.
Dan, thin secondary coming in, and then we saw Kirby Joseph get banged up. How does that affect the game plan in the second half?
Listen, it's not. We got everything up. We're ready to go. I know Kurt's been in and out, but he's going to give it a go. He'll be ready to go, man. We're so freaking close. We're 3 plays away from this thing being turned on its head.
And you told us you needed to score 30 points to win this game. How do you get there?
Yeah, just when we get a chance to make a play, we got to make it, man. And it's going to come up this time. We'll have 3 more plays. We got to make them. We do that, we'll be just fine.
Damn that.
Okay, thank you.
To the 29-yard line, very close to a first down. Those are the best halftime interviews, Chris, bar none.
He's the guy. He really is. But what he says is right. I mean, they had opportunities. If St. Brown doesn't drop that ball on 4th down, right? If they convert down there on 4th and 1 on the 1-yard line, it's a completely different game because the Chiefs would have never gotten the ball back if St. Brown makes the catch.
Over to the bench. This is a second and short.
Shot on first down, yes.
Kelsey come over. He was being trailed by the athletic trainer, Rick Burkholder. This is what happened getting run up on by Anzalone as they were trying to make that tackle on the previous play.
Yeah.
Been there. Right? I know you're thinking.
Been there, yeah. Try to block and, all of a sudden, everybody just falls on your ankle.
Remains out. First down for Kansas City gets started. So this second half, Mahomes, quick.
Shot on first down, yes.
Takes the ball inside the Detroit 45-yard line. Kirby Joseph over there by the sideline. They'll push him out of bounds.
Mike, we've been talking about it, but they're staying with this 3-linebacker look, and so when they do, you're going to get a chance to run routes on linebackers that oftentimes you have to run them against nickel cornerbacks on the outside. So those plays in that 7 to 10 yard area, you've got to continue to work those inside, and hopefully Kelsey's still okay and can be a part of that.
44, a lot of speed coming to the right. Mahomes just pushes it forward. It's an incomplete pass as he tried to get it to Pacheco. Pacheco and Worthy sprinting with him to the right.
I think one of the things they're doing, Mike, is they are running away from Aiden Hutchinson. That is like a dart. Like you just try and hit the bullseye there, and sometimes it freaks you out as a receiver when you see a dart coming at you. But every time Aiden Hutchinson lines up over here to the left, I feel like something's moving right.
Mahomes left against Jalen Moore, the starting offensive tackle tonight. Josh Shields, personal reasons, missing this game. Mahomes has some time. Taking pumping, firing, complete to Kelsey, who's back in. At the 30, gain of 14.
Got the first down, yes.
They go quick. They get the Lions with an extra player on the field. And no pass rush here. And Mahomes now making it up. Taking off with some space here. Flag down. He is at the 20-yard line. So they knew it was close as well. Got to one of those one-word calls at the line. And there's no challenge. There's no stopping the game.
It's interesting that the fact that the Chiefs had a controversial call there.
Offside. Definitely declined. The result of the flag. First down.
Yes.
To a big play. Because they were hustling up so that replay couldn't take a look at it. They trapped people on the field, and then here we go with a big play.
And Terry McCauley, if looked at, would that have stayed as a catch?
I believe it would have. It looks like he does get control prior to the ball touching the ground, and then he never loses it.
The ball hits the ground as they're moving with the ball. Thank you, Terry. So the Chiefs on the move in the red zone. Play 7 of this drive. Mahomes, fake right. Kareem Hunt to the left.
Got the first down, yes.
Terrific drive out of the locker room for KC.
Those linebackers continue to drop deep, which they are, and they have to because they're hitting some passes down there. You have those opportunities for the cheap throws, for the cheap yardage, the screens, the dump offs to Kelsey and some of these tight ends.
First and goal. Sullivan right in motion. He's got another pop pass.
Touchdown, yes.
Somewhere, but I have no idea where it is.
Tyrus Wheat went searching. Found nothing. A bunker to extend to a double-digit lead for KC. Knocks that through. A lot of misdirection, a lot of window dressing.
They get the points, yeah.
Touchdown. Cup Series champs out there. The NASCAR playoffs continue at Talladega next Sunday on NBC and Peacock. Denny Hamlin, big win out in Vegas today. 3 rounds to go from 8 to the final 4. The middle tour of that coming up next week. Talladega. Lions down 10. Ray Reynolds bobbled it, gifted it, and it takes it to the 26-yard line.
Look at our Lions key plays from the first half is brought to you by Artis. And these are the two. Really, if this was the play, they've got it on the goal line, 4th and 1, they go for it, they convert it, it's an illegal play. Then you come back with Amon-Ra St. Brown and a pass that he never drops. Couldn't hang on to it, and that didn't allow this Lions offense to hold serve. Gave the ball back to Kansas City, they scored and just doubled it.
Score at the end of the first half and their first full possession to start the second half. And Detroit begins back to the ground game. And Jahmyr Gibbs with the run to the 31. We showed you the stats at the start of the second half here. This Lions team, Chris, they ran the ball very effectively. Can they continue that even though the deficit's 10 and they're not stopping the Chiefs right now?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, they have to. The game that they got beat up a little bit was Green Bay. When they got into their drop-back passing game to try and make some plays, they're not built for that. They're a run and play action team. They need to focus on that.
It was week 1. That was the Lions' only loss. They won 4 in a row since. Right back to it. Slamming the right side with Gibbs for a couple. Leo Chenal. One more time in there. George Karloftis as well. Third down. Lion players slow to get up. There's Christian Mahogany, their left guard.
This Leo Chenal is just playing terrific. He's on the backside of some of these runs, and he's weaving his way through the traffic and those offensive linemen that seem to pick up everybody. But that's at least the third time I remember him just weaving his way in. And he is that third linebacker they're keeping on the field. He's doing really well.
Chiefs show pressure. Brings up. To the inside, brought to you by St. Brown for the first down at the 37-yard line. Amon-Ra St. Brown, if he stays healthy, he'll have more catches than anyone. First 5 seasons in the NFL, holds on that time.
That matchup's going to decide this thing. You've got Amon-Ra St. Brown against Trent McDuffie. Best on best right there.
Mike shot the ball. Jameson Williams wide open at the top of the screen. He's got it. There he goes. Jameson Williams inside midfield to the 47. So the Lions went quick. The Chiefs were subbing, and nobody was out there with Jameson.
And that was McDuffie there, who was trying to get up off the pile and get ready for it. Jamari Connor basically threw him out there to go make a play on Williams. The Lions need to do what they're doing. They just calm down. Let's just whip them, right? Let's just go try and push them off the ball. And their play action will work, and let's get Gibbs going. That's what they did best in the first half.
They've tried to send to the outside. Chenal hanging on after a gain of a couple.
Well, everybody knows what they're going to try to do when they leave those 3 linebackers in the game. They are going to try to go tight inside runs that way, and they just have to get it blocked. And so far, these 3 linebackers of the Chiefs have been up to the task. And it's one of the keys of this first half. It really is. To have the guts to play those guys and not play nickel against looks like this.
Here's Goff out to Gibbs. A lot of red on that side of the line. And Drew Tranquil over there to make the play. Loss of at least 3 yards. It'll be 3rd and long for the Lions.
And Mike, if you're playing a nickel defense, this is a defensive back instead of a linebacker. A linebacker runs right through that block and blows up that play. A nickel defensive back probably doesn't.
Lions need to get to the Chiefs 38. Probably have 2 downs to do. Jameson Williams, and the play made by Cook. Brian Cook out of the backfield, defensive backfield. Makes the play, and the Lions will be forced to punt it now, facing 4th and long. What a job on the Chiefs defense.
Really was. Jared Goff saw the pressure. He knew it was coming. That's the opportunity to swing it out to one of your speedsters, and they simply have been outplaying them. They've been more physical at the point of attack here to start this second half.
Kicks 4 in Cincinnati inside the 10-yard line last week. Mourinho had a tough time catching that knuckleball.
Aiden Hutchinson, and more than holding his own out there. We can talk about all the big things that Patrick Mahomes has done. We can talk about some of the stops of this defense. But tonight was not going to work if Jalen Moore could not live up to his contract. He got a ton of money to be the 3rd tackle on this Kansas City Chiefs team. And I guarantee you Brett Veach and Andy Reid are loving every minute of it.
starting field position of the night for either team. And it runs for 3 yards by Kareem Hunt, takes it to the 10-yard line. Kelvin Shepard and the Lions defense needs to come up big here. Shepard taking over as the defensive coordinator. Aaron Glenn moving on to take the Jets head coaching job. First time as defensive coordinator, and everybody talks about Kelvin Shepard in the Detroit side has great things to say.
Oh, he's one of my favorite guys. He gets me fired up to talk to him. And he actually played for and was sort of trained by Spags, the defensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs. They talk all the time, not this week.
Second and 7. Mahomes looking at Pacheco's cover. He's trying to take off and get it to Pacheco. Back shoulder on Campbell. Incomplete. It'll be third down now.
I tell you, Mike, there are some nickel defenses coming in now for the Detroit Lions, and it'll be interesting to see if they start trying to go after Arthur Millette. I remember Arthur Millette when he was playing for the Steelers. He was the nickel on like first and second down, but they would take him out on third down. But there's so much speed over that side. I mean, you're talking about some of the fastest guys, and Worthy and Brown, and they're over there sort of matched up right now.
Making his Lions debut, that injury depleted secondary. Mahomes firing right.
Stop the first down, yes.
Terrific placement on the throw, and the Chiefs come up with a big third down.
Yeah, that was just as good, right? They're going to switch the coverage, roll a little inside motion on the outside with Kelsey, and then he's got the one-on-one opportunity against Millette. Really well designed, really well thought out, and now they're starting to attack this base defense of the Detroit Lions in a really sharp way.
70 yards from Kelsey Chris on 5 grabs. That's a season high for the future Hall of Fame. Pacheco, the back, Kareem Hunt being looked at in the medical tent. Mahomes doing it right now. Tied down to take a couple of yards. DJ Reader was right there along with Alex Anzalone as Mahomes went down. So Chris Jones getting some attention on the sideline as well.
Chris Jones, and he had the mistake last week. He knows it, he admits it, but he is the key. Nobody in the NFL gets more double teams than Chris Jones. He plays on 80+% of the snaps, and if he's not in the game, it is a major issue for Kansas City.
Shark Smith is 24, working out of SMU. Mahomes incomplete, trying to get it over. And Anzalone covering Smith. They'll set up third down at 8.
You know, I'm all for trick plays, but I think if this one came in, I might have vetoed it. You're going to have Hutchinson on the outside, naked bootleg. Nobody's going to block him at all, and Mahomes is going to have to sort of throw it around him, and he's going, let's go to plan B.
Hutchinson, you talk about the other side of the high percentage of snaps for Chris Jones. Injuries for Aiden Hutchinson. Coming off that leg injury a year ago. Third and 8. Lions bring it 4. Mahomes stepping up. Space taking off. Takes the hit. Keeps going. And finally stopped around the 35-yard line. Too short of the first down.
What quarterback does that? I mean, really. So he's going to get turned around and hit. He got whacked. Most quarterbacks go down before they even get to the whacked part of it. He's going to get whacked, and then he's going to turn around. He's going to get whacked again. And almost, I mean, he's just a fighter. He really is. He's just a fighter.
Branch, Anzalone, Hutchinson all tagging Mahomes. First punt of the night for Matarazzo with Khalif Raymond. Back for Detroit. Man who has 3 career punt returns for touchdown. Looking against the Browns earlier this year. By Hanger here at Byron. Good kick, 47 yards. Fair caught by Raymond.
Back in Kansas City, where during the Chiefs' last defensive series, we saw Chris Jones get banged up, come over to the sideline, holding his left arm. And then when the defense came off the field, one of the Chiefs' athletic trainers examining his left elbow, stretching it, bending it up and down for 5 minutes. He was grimacing in pain. They put a sleeve on it. We'll see what
a lot longer. Brian Cook the stop. The pickup at 23.
Yeah, I was watching inside and I was like, oh, they finally got some pressure coming in here. And then, of course, screen pass. There you go. Chris Jones out of the game. And you've got right up the middle here, the pressure is going to come. And Leo Chanel is basically playing the 3 technique, which is where the big 320-pound defensive tackles often play in there. And they timed that perfectly and hit a big play to start this thing.
Jones remains on the sideline for the 42. Tranquil pressure picked up St. Brown underneath, first down Detroit at the Chiefs' 46-yard line. Amon-Ra St. Brown connects with Goff for the 5th time, their longest hookup of the night. Jones back in.
Jones back in, but David Montgomery is the best of the blockers in the backfield. And watch this blitz pickup. Again, dealing with linebackers instead of slot cornerbacks. But Montgomery at 230 pounds took care of Drew Tranquil there. Now Chris Jones needs to get going.
Right in motion. Goff's throw complete. St. Brown turning upfield to the 35-yard line. Shell brings him down. It's another first down for Detroit. Moving it well on this drive.
Yeah, and this is really what I wanted both teams to start doing, because you'll see the linebackers start running out here and trying to get outside, but they just don't get far enough. That's the difference. So what's the weakness of that defense is that sort of hook zone out there wide enough for them to take advantage of.
Late for the drive. Goff throws it underneath the top. St. Brown's got it for a half dozen. So you talked about this as we prepared all week, this 3 linebacker thing. The world, the NFL, has gone to a lot of nickel and 5 DBs and away from it. But these teams are giving us maybe more 3 linebacker than we see in any game all year.
Yeah, and so you know what you're going to get. You're going to get zone coverage behind it. So to beat zone coverage, there are gaps in between there. And so you have to get your receivers in against those linebackers. And I think the Lions are trying to do that right now.
Chess match that is pro football. Pop past Jamison Williams. Has a couple of blockers and gets the first down, ducking out of bounds at the 23-yard line. So Williams has been very active from St. Louis here in Kansas City, playing well tonight.
We blocked a little crackdown on the back side of that thing. I couldn't see exactly who it was, but it looked like one of the receivers coming down, taking care of business. And now Detroit Lions, they couldn't finish the first drive they had down into the 1-yard line.
Williams had 11 catches coming in tonight. He has 6. Working some short stuff thus far this evening. Tying his career high in the game. Goff, Montgomery, blockers downfield. David Montgomery inside the 10. The Lions will have first and goal at the 8-yard line when the 4th quarter begins. Worst field position. Best looking drive for Detroit.
That's the other quarter number 3.
Tonight's SNF sites provided by Nationwide. This is Subtropolis. It's 7 miles from here, developed by the Chiefs founder, their late owner, Lamar Hunt. World's largest underground business complex. And one of the first tents back in 1964 is the Ford Motor Company, with excess produced vehicles stored there. And the great-granddaughter of Henry Ford, the founder of Ford Motor Company, Sheila Ford, had there speaking with Clark Hunt, the son of Lamar Hunt. They invented that, of course, as the founder of the Chiefs. Great family-run organizations here meeting tonight. First and goal for Detroit from the 9. And Goff down to the side. St. Brown busy on this drive inside the 5. Second and goal for the Lions.
Getting the ball out very quickly, but I've got to give a tip of the cap to Dan Skipper right now. He has pitched a shutout so far in this one. No pressures allowed in this game, and for a backup third-string tackle to come in and accomplish a sack in this spot, pretty impressive.
Making his season debut. 31-year-old veteran. Second and goal, Goff. Scanning, firing to the back. Oh, what a catch! Touchdown! The
something else. Jamari Connor all over him. He's got his one arm hooked, pulls it out, didn't matter. He only needed one. Everything, so everything St. Brown, right? And I said, but we're getting close with LaPorta, right? He goes, yeah, same sort of stuff.
Trusted comes up with big plays on a regular basis. Jake Bates makes it a 3-point game. Since he entered the league, you had the playoff games that he's played. 21 touchdowns. Sam LaPorta has been the tight end in the league in that stretch. And that one, a thing of beauty on the back line.
I want the 49ers to win next weekend.
The Falcons play Buffalo tomorrow night. John Robertson and company will head west. We're saying the gang of football on America starting at 7 Eastern. We'll join you just around 5 Eastern, so Pacific time, just after 8 Eastern, from Levi's, where the Super Bowl will be won by someone. A lot of folks say we got a chance this year the way these first 6 weeks have gone. Nico Remigio to return to the 31-yard line. And the Chiefs, all their Super Bowl magic came in part with so many close wins. Think about last couple of years, 17 straight one-score games they won. That's an NFL record. But the house always gets even, right? So in these tight games, 0-3 in the one-score games. This year for Andy and Patrick, and you see, Chargers game, Eagles game, Jaguars game, the 3 losses only by a total of 12 points. So that's why at 2-3, if you don't win, it's an all chips in the middle of the table situation for this KC team tonight. We're in a one-score game now as they get 3 yards on the first down run for Kareem Hunt of Kansas City.
What we haven't seen tonight out of Patrick Mahomes are many deep shots. 0 for 1 so far in the game. Tyquan Thornton basically has been their deep threat this year. He hasn't done anything in this game, but they have 26 of those completions during the course of this year. It took them to week 13 to get that far a season ago. So I don't know if they'll open up or not, but the safety's on the back end of their injuries.
Second and 7, Mahomes has that to slip out. He got hit at the end. And 2 flags come down. Just trying to pump and hold on to the ball, and it slipped out, or it just was getting rid of it, but he got hit at the end of it all.
Roughing the passer. Defense number 97. The 15-yard penalty.
Yes!
Probably their favorite pressure. He's going to go up the field and loop back under. It works all the time, but instead of being 1 step away, he was at least 2 steps away, and big mistake there.
Easy call, the 2 steps. Mahomes is like, what'd you do? Well, what he did was give you a first down right around midfield. That's 4 penalties on the lines. Kansas City, none, and that's a big story. Chiefs are penalized 13 times on Monday night against the Jaguars. Most for this team since that Rams-Chiefs game in 2018. The 49 takes heavier Worthy, trying to use his speed. 45-yard line. Kick up of about a half dozen for Worthy.
The one thing we have not talked about yet tonight is that Rashee Rice is going to be back after his suspension. And there is a general buzz amongst the coaches, the players, Patrick Mahomes, everybody, that what he brings, the energy he brings, the ability to work underneath, but still having that deep speed, they think that he is going to be that final piece that's going to send them on a run.
Last of the 6-game suspension after the guilty plea in the street racing incident. Mahomes
on the first down, yes.
is stepping away. Shows his speed to chase him down. It's a first down for the Chiefs at the 31-yard line with Worthy for 14.
Terrific job that time by Mahomes. You're going to see this little route here, but he's going to look that way the entire time. All his receivers are over there. Look, times out just perfectly. Why did he turn then? Because they practiced that a million times. He knew how long it would take that little loop-de-loop to happen. Really nicely designed play.
Easy stuff. Gigi Smith-Schuster.
On the first down, yes.
It just those jabs, and it frustrates pass rushers so much. But more than that, Mike, it's these RPOs where they're having the ability to either throw the ball, run the ball. It's completely up to Patrick Mahomes. But a lot of times they get criticized for not running enough. Well, it just depends on what the defense is doing, whether they're going to run it or pass it.
Smith on the edge. Fighting for yards as Brian Branch tries to drop him back. But the rookie gets within a yard of the first down.
So there you saw the RPO, and you got the running play. They could have gone that way. Mahomes knew right from the start that he felt good about the way the secondary was aligned. Took advantage of it. So it is entirely, usually there are three different options. You can hand it to the halfback, Mahomes can keep it, or he can throw the football.
Play 6 of this drive inside.
Got the first down, yes.
First and goal, about 4.5 minutes into the fourth.
And the red ball sort of got broken up, but it's still pretty darn good in here. You've got Trey Smith, you've got Creed Humphrey, and when they get that push going, and Pacheco gets going, this team gets fired up. See how this is pushing backwards into these linebackers? That's what the Lions do a lot of offense too.
Trey Smith and Creed Humphrey, really good friends. They lost their running mate Joe Tooney, went to Chicago. Guard on the left side, those two get it down. Getting away as Pacheco inside the 5, goes to the 3-yard line. Gets hit by 5 Lions.
Well, Trey Smith was kind of funny talking about Isaiah Pacheco. He said, our coach tells us to run down there, sprint down there, and help those running backs up off the ground, but he's already up and back towards the huddle before we could do that.
And he just did that. He got 5 guys hit Pacheco, and he's the one jogging back to the huddle. 7th-round pick out of Rutgers. In his first 4 years, he has shown a great ability to add power to the finesse of the Chiefs.
It feels like they've been running it all day. This is usually play action time.
Here goes Mahomes on the roll. As everything was covered, here comes a very important play in this game, the 3rd and goal.
The Lions need to return the favor, right? The Chiefs had the goal line stand before, and now the Lions need one themselves. This is a hot night, too. Here's some long drives.
There is Matt Nagy, offensive coordinator, calling the plays in. 78-degree night. Kelsey, part of the bunch of the top 3rd and goal.
Touchdown, yeah.
So much traffic, you take the far left guy of the bunch and run him all the way across, and Robertson's got to try and weave his way through traffic. There just is no way. Andy Reid, a little magical down there in that red zone area.
Hunter re-extends its end. And he does.
Yes, big gets the points.
Tomorrow on NBC and Peacock.
Division-winning coaches each side there. Back-to-back Dan Campbell, 9 times in a row in the AFC West for Andy Reid. There's such good programs on both sides. The Lions just a couple of mistakes that cost them the opportunity to score, keep drives going. The Chiefs have not made mistakes here in this second half. Line drive taken by Craig Reynolds at the 6. And Reynolds is hit right around the 26-yard line. That's where the Lions will take over in 30 seconds.
T-Mobile has the best network. That's why.
Back home to Michigan. Michigan for them as the Chiefs have the lead here, 27-17, 9:25 to go.
I think it's 4-down territory from here for the Lions. There's just no way they can give it back to Patrick Mahomes.
It's Jahmyr Gibbs is the back, spinning, not getting away from Bolton. Nick Bolton, terrific play on the other side of the line, and a loss of 3.
It's so interesting to watch Nick Bolton and Chris Jones play together right here. They say, Chris, whatever you're going to do it fast. So he does that, and there comes Nick Bolton right behind him. It is quite a tandem, those two working together. And Bolton's so good, and he's getting better even at the pass rush. Some of those delayed blitzes we've seen the last few weeks, he is making a difference here tonight, too.
Goff 12 for 12 in the second half. Keeps the card clean. St. Brown loses it out of bounds with a catch and a fumble by the beanbag being thrown. They get the first down yardage lost back. It will be 3rd and long coming up for Detroit.
But this typically is struggle time here because if you're going to get pressure on Jared Goff, it's going to be in these 3rd and long situations because they don't have the play action to work off. So this is feeding time here for Chris Jones and company.
Jones running up next to George Karlaftis.
Exactly what you need your all-pro to do. But everything's on the line. Beat your guy fast one-on-one. He did. And now they have to punt there. Too far back.
Charles Omenihu, the cleanup, his 2nd sack in his mini games at 1 Monday night against Jacksonville. Remigio had a tough time catching a punt from Fox earlier. Boomer here. Remigio got it at the 30. To the outside, has some blocking there. Fox, the punter. And the ball came out at the end. Was he touched by Fox? Did he jump over him? The back judge is coming and saying he was down.
The ruling on the field is the one was down by contact. First down. Kansas City timeout.
And Kansas City will have the ball on the 46-yard line. Fox keeps flying in to try to get to him. Then Remigio's knee comes down, contacted, ball out. Casey ball.
Makes people miss. Watch the 4 deep guys. They end up 50 yards deep, and there are wide open receivers underneath. That's the value of a quarterback like Mahomes that can move by time. You just run those defensive backs all the way down the field, and there's a ton of space.
And the run game they go to now, trying to solve this away as Pacheco runs inside to the 44-yard line, picked up of 5. Just get the feeling, Chris, this Kansas City team, we mentioned the close losses, all 1-score losses, just kind of maybe settling into where this offense really has a chance to take off over the next 4 or 5 weeks.
I was told by several people inside that organization, they like where they are with this team better at 2 and 3 than what they had last year with a team that won 15 games and went to the Super Bowl. That's saying something.
Again, Jack Campbell waiting a couple of yards, and you win. They won 15 games. They were the #1 seed last year, but it was a high wire act. I mean, they were winning games that they had no business winning.
They had Tooney moving from guard out to tackle in the Super Bowl. They're trying to make it up, and Andy Reid did the best that they could, but eventually when you got against a team and a defense like Philadelphia had, they just couldn't put Band-Aids on it anymore, and it got exposed. So they went out and got the extra tackle, and already it's paying off. This Jalen Moore tonight has really been terrific.
Again, the veteran addition of Josh Simmons, the rookie left tackle, missing the game for personal reasons back in California. That was a Saturday development. Third shot.
Got the first down, Jeff.
6 for Travis, a 78-yard night.
So here are the zones. There's one zone, here's the other zone, and there's Kelsey. He is just going to turn around. Before that inside linebacker, Jack Campbell, can get there, nobody has done it any better than those two, and maybe Taylor Swift.
Enjoying the life of a tight end tonight is Kelsey. 6 for 78. Little 5. The 29-yard line. And Chris, we should go back and revisit the top of the broadcast with the Lions without 5 of the top 6 cornerbacks that they had coming into training camp. So it's almost like they're playing not with their right hand. It's like they're playing left-handed. They don't have that aggressiveness of man coverage that's been a feature of this team throughout the year.
I've got to say, I think they played defensively better than I thought they were going to. I think they really did. It was, when we showed it, the 2 mistakes on 4th down by the offense. They got penalized on the one where they scored, and then Amon-Ra St. Brown had the one that he missed on 4th down, and they couldn't hold serve.
Like Dan Campbell said, as you mentioned earlier, he thought they needed to score 30 to win the game. And they were in position to if they didn't have those miscues on the first drive and the 4th down drop. But
try to get Dan Campbell to make an excuse for something, and that ain't happening. There's just no way. He's a guy that his dad was a Marine and a cattle rancher, and he said, my rules were don't feel sorry for yourself and don't sleep in. I don't think he's ever slept in. The coffee probably helped along the way.
30 yards.
Got the first down, yes.
Detroit. 3:25 to go. And the Chiefs sending a message here. Quarterbacks play well here tonight. Jared Goff, 7 incompletions the last 2 games, and keeping it clean, not turning it over. But Mahomes, 22 of 30, and those rushing yards, 4 total touchdowns for Patrick, 3 in the air. The touchdown run in the second quarter. Kareem Hunt again to the 13. Dan Campbell will take his second timeout, 1 left with 3:21 to go. As the Chiefs try to get one more score in there and get this victory to get back to 500 before Kansas City plays the Raiders in KC on Sunday.
If they could hold them to a field goal here, right? Still gives them a chance here with 3.5 to go.
There is the schedule. Raiders coming in. Raiders getting win 2. Keeping Tennessee winless earlier today. And then the Commanders, and they go to Buffalo to play the Bills, one of the big regular season matchups. And then the game at the Broncos. Broncos beating the Jets in that ugly game this morning, 13-11. But they have Rashee Rice coming back for those 2 games against the Broncos, which everybody on the Kansas City side is pointing out some important games they feel down the stretch. Second and 8, it's Pacheco. Alex Anzalone among others, as Dave Campbell takes that last timeout with 3:14 to go. So we'll have 3rd down coming up when we come back to KC.
And we reached the 2-minute wind.
Lions out of timeouts, 3:14 to go. Chiefs have a 3.5 dozen coming up here with a 10-point lead, trying to lock this one away.
I think when Millette in the
No,
game,
not yet, not yet.
we're likely to see a 5-man
And
rush.
Lions head coach should take this last timeout.
Mahomes and brought down attention on the other side to Aiden Hutchinson. Now 4.5 sacks on the season, and the Chiefs will try a field goal.
Yeah, and that time Jalen Moore finally gave one up. It was a good move. Nice job by Muhammad, who really has played well in that prime spot, if you will, opposite Aiden. But they did what they had to do. They're still in the game.
Goal here, making 30-17. Harrison Butker ran up to the long snapper. I think they got to maximize the time here, and Andy Reid will take a timeout. We'll burn as much as possible, and then we'll try the field goal.
And a timeout called by Andy Reid.
With Butker. So the Lions will have the Monday night game against Tampa. This is the hardest part of the Detroit schedule. It all looked hard at the start of the year, but Baltimore and Cincinnati with their injuries, not what people thought they would be. So the Lions getting out to the 4-1 record. Bucks, then the bye, Vikings at the Commanders, and we'll see Detroit in Philadelphia, mid-November headline game. Still games with the Packers on Thanksgiving, at the Rams, another one with the Vikings, and then Ben Johnson and the Bears in Chicago to close it out on the first Sunday of 2026. 33, Butker's got it.
And he made the field goal, yeah.
Still the lead, 30-17. So I asked you at the start of the night, we were all pretty on camera over there, holding our microphones, saying hi to everybody. I said, should anybody be panicked if the Chiefs 2-3? And you said no, unless they lost tonight.
Yeah.
So what were the seeds that made you say no that we've seen on this field this season?
Well, one, I thought that, it was going to be a little bit of a tough lift for the Detroit Lions defense. I mean, you can't lose your entire secondary, basically, and expect to compete against this football team. But also part of it was the fact that they have finally found a protection path to success. I just felt like, really for the last 2 years, they've been fishing in this pond, trying to find some formula that was going to work. And what we've seen out of Mahomes here tonight is that he has confidence now in what's going on. Early in the season, first couple of games, he was still kind of sneaking a peek over his shoulder, Like, oh man, are they still coming like they were the last 2 years? And they haven't.
And he said as much. And so did Andy Reid, right? And you can't blame him. What happened with the revolving door at left tackle over the last few years. Turn to the 27-yard line with Dominic Lovett. Rookie. Out of the University of Georgia, impressed the Lions in camp. So the Lions, if they cannot come up with a big comeback here on the timeouts, will fall 4-2. Back at 3-1, and that one time we saw against the Cowboys, the Vikings, after their trip to London, rested and ready to roll, and the Bears play tomorrow night in Washington.
Mike, the Lions are going to get all those injured players back at some point. You're talking about a team that could explode about week 10 when they get all those guys returning. It's the Detroit Lions.
Still not out of this game, but they have to make a lot of magic happen and recover an outside kick. Chris Jones offside. Goff throws it underneath. Laporta's got it. And he can't get out of bounds. And he's just shy of the first down. They haven't got that offside on KC.
Offside. Defense, number 95.
Well, just about. He's still with it.
Second out.
Yeah, this is that feeding frenzy time where you're trying to get every advantage you can and go pad those stats a little bit. People have been talking about Chris, and he only had 1 sack coming in, but he had that key moment back when he knew he needed to make a play, and that he's had a couple of his patented sort of 1-step, 2-step moves that just shoots right into the quarterback.
And offside did give the Lions a free clock stoppage. Goff escaping, trying to get rid of it towards St. Brown. He did before the sack. It's an incomplete pass.
This is rule incomplete.
To go.
And this is probably his favorite move, where you're going to kind of start outside, then come back inside, and just overwhelm guards that weigh 330 pounds because they get a little off balance. Doesn't matter if you get 2 guys on him or not. He's just going to snowplow his way right back to the quarterback.
Jones, so much attention, so good inside. Held that a sack in 14 of his last 16 regular season games, trying to get on the board at feeding time for defense. defensive line. 3rd and a yard. Goff throws incomplete at the feet of Laporta, who saw 2 underneath. Jamari Connor was there along with Trent McDuffie. It's 4th down.
This is probably, I think, the weakest part of the Detroit Lions team. When they get into these situations where they have to throw the football. Give the Detroit Lions a lead, let them run, play action, all of that off of it. It's going to be tough for anybody to stay with them. When they're in this drop back, got to throw it, it's just not quite the same.
Chiefs show it and bring 4 on 4th and 1. Goff to keep the game going.
Incomplete pass to Boyd. What just about? We still win.